Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily, the first English news program in Poland. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Following the controversy of the alleged accusation from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Poland's complicity in the Holocaust, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki made a comment today on the media's attempt at distorting Netanyahu's statement and made a personal request to the ambassador of Israel in Poland to disown the accusation.
Benjamin Netanyahu's statement published in Jerusalem Post, which created a diplomatic crisis between Poland and Israel, still echoes in the minds of the public. Although a retraction and an apology were issued later, the situation left a sour taste. It is difficult to recall an event of similar international gravity. However we want to look at this issue, Poland has become the most important US ally in Europe.
Najważniejszym sojusznikiem Stanów Zjednoczonych w Europie.
The words said by the Israeli Prime Minister put the V4 Group summit set to take place in Jerusalem in question. In fact, Polish President Andrzej Duda even proposed to move the meeting to his residence in Wisła, Poland. The President acted strongly, but this strength is necessary in terms of diplomacy. Mr. President is very consistent. There is no place for such false statements. The Middle Eastern Summit in Warsaw was a complete failure of Polish diplomacy. Because of our weak position in negotiations with the US, we are not being respected. The Visegrad Group summit in Jerusalem is supposed to be the next step in the strategic dialogue between Israel and the V4 Group countries. This afternoon, Chief of the Chancellery of the Prime Minister, Michał Dworczyk, informed that Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki will not attend the Jerusalem summit. The reason for this decision was said to be the fact that the Polish Prime Minister is very sensitive to false accusations targeted at the Polish nation. Instead, Poland will be represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jacek Czaputowicz.
Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki made his statement regarding the issue of reparations for American Jewish citizens in an interview today with the Polish press agency. His statement declared that Poland is in the clear regarding international regulations and Poland is not subject to carry out state reparations.
The Germans destroyed our country. They wanted to murder almost all of the Polish nation and enslave the rest. It is us who have the right to ask for compensation. The matter of returning property to American citizens of Jewish origin is completely regulated. For years we have signed an indemnification agreement with the Americans which releases our country from this responsibility. I want to make it clear, there is currently no case. Poland is completely safe from this controversy. Poland was a victim, not an executioner, and above all, Germany has never compensated Poland for the losses caused by the criminal policy of the Third Reich.
European Union countries have reached an agreement on how to regulate Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, defended the Nord Stream 2 by denying that the new gas pipeline will increase the dependence of Germany and all of Europe on Russian gas.
Munich Security Conference is the place where politicians, despite of the harsh international situation, meet to find a compromise. A Russian gas molecule is a Russian gas molecule, whether it came via Ukraine or the Baltic Sea. That means that the question of how dependent we are on Russian gas cannot be answered simply by which pipeline is being used. And nobody wants to be solely dependent on Russia. The Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, criticized the German and Russian underinvestments.
We cannot ensure the defense of the West if our allies grow dependent on the East.
Polish Minister of National Defense Mariusz Błaszczak indicated that the money from the Russian gas sale is being spent on armaments.
I noticed that the money which Russia is getting from the gas sale is being spent on armaments. This is a paradoxical situation in which Russia is arming with the European partners' money.
The United States Vice President Pence made a statement referring to the Warsaw Summit during the security conference in Munich.
The time has come for our European partners to stand with us and with the Iranian people, our allies and friends in the region. The time has come for our European partners to withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal and join us as we bring the economic and diplomatic pressure necessary to give the Iranian people, the region, and the world the peace, security, and freedom they deserve.
35 prime ministers, 90 ministers, and a few hundred experts took part in this year's Munich Security Conference.
The speech given today by the Iranian Minister of National Defense, Mohammad Javad Zarif, highlighted the last day of the Munich Security Conference. The Iranian diplomat admitted that the risk of war with Israel is high. Meanwhile, he appealed to the European countries for economic cooperation with Tehran. This was the first comment made by a high-level Iranian politician on a summit on peace and security in the Middle East recently held in Warsaw.
We are in Syria on the invitation of the Syrian government for the sole purpose of fighting terrorism. No other reason for our being there. I think last I checked international law, violating Lebanon's airspace and shooting into Syria is a violation of international law. And the international community, and of all people Europe, which believes international law is the foundations of international order, is blaming us and not blaming the Israelis for violating international law. So let's wake up.
So the risk is great.
Risk is great, but risk will be even greater if you continue to turn a blind eye to severe violations of international law.
That's it for today. See you next time on Poland Daily. But stay tuned for the Poland Daily Weather Report, followed by Poland Daily Business.